Greetings, my dear Fantasistas, and it's time to sum up a little bit for our favorite event of WePlay Academy. So far, as expected, Fnatic kind of showed up strong, BIG showed up strong, Young Ninjas, despite that there was not confirmed like full lineup, they still managed to go for a second. And as no one expected, Mouse Sports fluked very bad, which caused many people to kind of screw up their teams. You know, even my team got screwed up a bit, but still, like because I had some decent players, it still didn't end up too bad. But like, if it was a season, there would still be like 4 points. Well, nothing wrong with that. Also, the fantasy was kind of screwed up itself. And to be honest, I think I made a mistake by just picking two Gamble players instead of probably two BIG players, you know. And as I expected, Fnatic to do well. For some reason, I kind of fluked as well. So this is my team for the playoffs, and I'll explain why. I actually liked the way Maxter was performing. He had some good games. Also, instead of Era, I think there's um, Yikinya. He's playing. Aqua, unexpectedly good in a uh, in a fantasy league. Also, he had some decent numbers, right? Let's say, especially at the beginning, right? Uh, like they had some really good results, right? And Aqua surprising actually like majority of people. Then Banjo, uh, in my opinion, he's just a solid player because I don't think that Fnatic gonna win the whole thing, right? But uh, I don't want to risk and just pick another player from let's say a team like Navi Junior or something like that, right? Because for me, it doesn't really make sense since they have a long way to go. And so far that I understand, there's going to be like uh, two pending games, and then there's going to be a opening round. Then if they lose, they're going to drop down to a lower bracket, and that case, like if they lose like two games in a row, it's still not going to be like that crucial, and he's still going to have a fairly decent like points, right? It's either going to be like -10 or like plus 20, 25, 30. You know, anything can happen. So I'm just hoping for some points over here. And BIG, as I said, I don't believe that Fnatic gonna win. Uh, BIG have a good chance, but I believe that NIP is gonna win this because by watching some of the BIG games, right? Despite that they were beating like almost everyone pretty easily, right? They still were struggling against ninjas, and that's basically what's most important for me. They played overpass twice, right? They got stumped the first time, second time they won, but if I remember right, it was Aqua overperforming and like the whole team underperforming, right? So for me, it was kind of surprise, but it is what it is, and I still believe that NIP is gonna win. And to be honest, if there was an option to pick Young Ninjas players for the main part, I probably would have two players from that team. But because the team wasn't confirmed, we couldn't really pick them. So now let's talk about uh, kind of few words about Astralis talent. And I'm kind of impressed with the team play, but they still also have a long way to go. And if we see the results, they barely scraped in, right? But they had so many close games that it's just unbelievable that they pulling out all these close games, right? And like against every single team, it's like it can go like any way, right? Navi Junior, right? They kind of got lucky in the first game. They had a huge comeback against Mouse Sports. Then there was also interesting game. Like every single game where Astralis Talent is playing, the game has a huge potential to be close, right? They only had like a couple of games that were not really like close. Like they lost Mirage against Navi and they won Mirage against Spirit. Every other game, like okay, let's not talk about Eternal Fire because that's that's quite painful to see their results, right? It's like again 16 old in Academy League is I'll be honest, it's unacceptable, right? So let's not talk about the Turkish side. So yeah, so my expectation in single elimination bracket is that Astralis Talent probably gonna beat Furia because I wasn't convinced on the way Furia was playing. I haven't seen anything that would kind of reassure me that Furia is good, right? They had some interesting games, but as soon as it comes to a team like Young Ninjas or even BIG, it's like they're not ready for this type of enemies, right? And at the moment, Astralis Talent is maybe on a level with the Young Ninjas and BIG, right? So they kind of close if we talk about the current level. All right, so this is why I'm kind of on Astralis side, right? Also, they will have to face Navi Junior, and I I didn't like the way Navi Junior was playing, right? They got lucky multiple times, right? Um, Hat-Trick kind of playing the star role, but Nipple overperformed in my opinion, especially in the first couple of games. Also, when it comes down to Astralis playing Navi, like most of the time it's a close game. Like we're not gonna talk about this one because I believe we're not gonna see Mirage in best of three. If I'm correct, yes, it's best of three. So I'm pretty sure we're not gonna see Mirage in that game. So this result is irrelevant. And what we're gonna see is most likely something like a Vertigo, Overpass, and I'm not sure what's gonna be the third map, maybe Inferno. And on all of those maps, I believe the advantage is on Astralis side, right? So, in my opinion, Astralis probably gonna go through the single elimination bracket, and on the other side, um, this is the reason why I'm picking two NAP players because I believe that whoever's gonna come out on top in this game, Young Ninja is gonna beat them very easily. And so far, from what I understand, NAP probably gonna face BIG, and in that game, it's gonna be like a rematch for like the top one position of the Group B. And if we see the results of Young Ninjas against BIG, like 16-13 and 16-3, Young Ninjas beat them
Hey, wake up.
on the overpass.
Hey, wake up.
So for me, Young Ninjas is still a favorite over here. And if we're talking about the, let's say, kind of upper final, I still have a priority on Young Ninjas because most likely it's going to be Astralis against Fnatic. And in this particular game, Fnatic should have the advantage, but it's going to be like 50-50. And we can see the results of Astralis playing Fnatic. Astralis won, and the second game, Astralis won again. So that's kind of my logic. Anything can happen, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Astralis against Young Ninjas probably. Then lower bracket, BIG probably going to uh, face Fnatic, and over there, for me, it doesn't really matter which of them gonna advance because I have only one player uh, in the from each of the teams, and for me, that player is basically like a filler, right? Um, but from that point, I believe that still Young Ninja is gonna go to the final, and probably Fnatic should have tried, you know, to kind of gather all their powers and try to push from the lower bracket. But at the same time, I cannot really risk and take any of the star players from any of those teams because my main focus is on NIP, and NIP they have to like have a quite deep run like from the lower bracket to actually win the event. And if they do, most of the time it's going to be like massive points, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be like able to get like in top percent of this fantasy, but technically it should be possible. And also, if you want to gamble, then I believe that you should try to gamble on Astralis and Young Ninjas at the same time, right? Just double them up and probably get either Aqua or Banjo from the other team, like from Fnatic or BAG, like the cheapest player, just to have some points, right? Okay, that's uh, that's it at the moment. In terms of boosters, I'm probably gonna record a separate video of me discussing the boosters and how to play them. Also with the roles, with the new season coming up pretty soon. This might be useful for some new guys. So as always, take care, and I'll see you when I see you.